Okay. Speaking of being vocal, Kevin Lee has been vocal. That's not really outside the norm for him. The Motown phenom is typically vocal, but these days he seems to be a little more vocal than usual. He wants a fight on October 6th, UFC 229. He's getting the word out there, and he has come to his favorite show after doing the media rounds to get the word out. He has learned his lesson. Kevin Lee, how are you?
What's happening? First time, so it's good to be here.
Yeah,
Welcome to ESPN. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for joining us, Kevin. So you have been vocal. You want to fight on October 6th. And it seems like every week I get another alert, like Kevin Lee wants this guy. Kevin Lee wants that guy. How would we categorize ourselves right now? Like, are we frustrated? Are we looking for a fight and just not getting a fight? What's going on?
Look, here's the thing. I mean, it's a whole long and complicated situation. I mean, this is a complicated game to even be in. But at the end of the day, I'm focusing on me. I'm getting better each day. If these boys were smart, they try and take me out before because I'm only constantly improving. I'm only getting better. I'm looking at everybody. Like you said, I'm like a lion. Like I'm trying to see where my next meal is. I had called for the George St. Pierre thing, and everybody kind of looked at me like I was crazy. They kind of like laughed a little bit, and I got it right off the bat. I think I'm just seeing things that people weren't seeing. I'm seeing stuff that even George isn't seeing. I feel like, and I talked to George. He gave me his reasons for not wanting to fight. It is what it is. It makes sense. But now I'm on the bigger and better. I was looking at Iaquinta, but Iaquinta, he wants too much. He want to do it here. He don't want to do it there. He got too many stipulations. He more worried about being on Twitter, going back and forth. But I just ain't got time for that. Anthony Pettis, he stepped up. He said he fight on that card. I want to fight on that card. We both like money, so what's happening?
Okay, wait a second. You said a lot here. George St. Pierre told you spoke to him personally. He told you why he doesn't want the fight. What did he say?
Yeah, I mean, George, he stated his reasons. I mean, we talked for a minute. What we talk about in private, I got to kind of keep.
Okay.
But, the gist of it is for all these guys, I'm too big of a threat for not much reward. I get it. You know what I mean? But from a competitor standpoint, I like the fights, that excite me, that I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to win. I like when it's a big risk on the line because that's where you really get the big rewards. And I think it's something that even guys like George, they don't really see. He thinks beating up on Conor or Khabib is gonna really add something to his legacy, but I don't think it will any more than taking a fight against somebody like me.
Was there any talks of you fighting Nate Diaz at one point?
I've been calling for Nate for a while, but I already knew Nate wasn't gonna never take a fight versus me. He'll take a fight versus somebody like Poirier who gonna stand on the outside and kind of slap box with him, and he gonna have some fun. Against me, he already done had too many cuts on his face. I'm gonna turn his face into hamburger meat, and that's too much doctor bills, and that's another surgeries that you got to go through. I've been knew even when I was calling for Nate, I knew that Nate wasn't gonna take a fight with me. He was gonna do what I said do and go back to riding his bikes until somebody popped up that he felt like he could be.
Right. Okay. And now he's fighting Poirier, although he seems to be unhappy. So we don't even know what's going on with that situation. So then Iaquinta, was that even being discussed? Like, was that possible?
Yeah, I mean, I gave Iaquinta the shot. Iaquinta was calling for it too. He wanted to fight. And then all of a sudden the fight rolls around and then it's like, oh no, I'm hurt now and I can't do it until November. And, I want to do it in my hometown. Why don't you go fight in China? I don't even know what he's saying. Like, I don't really pay attention to Al too much. When Al gets to talking, I just let him talk. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you ain't hitting me about some money, don't bother me. Like I'm fucking, like I'm getting better each day. So if you ain't talking about something real, then I don't even want to be bothered. I'll move on to the bigger and best. It's an A side and there's a B side to everything. And in that matchup, I'm just the A side, so he can take it or leave it.
Okay, so Pettis, is there something there with Pettis, or is it just? And I saw the same thing where he's like, "I want to return on October 6th." Is it just you're like, okay, this makes sense. Here's a guy. He's in my bracket, if you will. It makes sense for me to fight him. He wants to fight, or is there something else that happened?
Yeah, I mean, it ain't no beef. It ain't no disrespect towards Pettis. I've known him for a long time. It's just one of those fights that excite me. Pettis is one of the guys that I first start. He was like my real first exposure to high level fighting. When I came over to Rufus Court and got to move around with him many years ago. And now I just want to see where that stacked up. He looked real good versus Chiesa too. If he didn't look good versus Chiesa, then I wouldn't be looking at it. Like he got that little bit of a fire in him. I feel like that's the next step up. I'm the most logical step is He beat Chiesa. Now he got to fight me, and we're gonna see how it's playing out. I think it's an exciting fight all around the board. Really, when you look at it, and you look at the rest of this division, what other fights put him in, and what other fights do we want? I think we both want each other.
So does the UFC agree with you? Do they like this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I talked with the UFC. They like the fight. We just got to know where Pettis stands with it. I ain't heard no answer back, but we'll see how this whole thing shake out. I think they said there was 2 spots left on this 229 card, and I think that's make the most sense. Go ahead and stack it up full of the lightweights to really get the people what they asking for. And I'm gonna sit in the back, and I'm gonna make sure that Conor and Khabib, while they getting their hands wrapped, they're gonna sit there and they're gonna watch me beat the fuck out of Anthony Pettis, because I'm sick of guys like overlooking or trying to push me out of the other division when they know that I'm the real contender. Khabib, he gonna try his best to run. His handlers are gonna do his best to keep me away from him for as long as possible, and that's what they're trying to do. But I'm gonna put it right there in his face. He's gonna be getting this right. I'm gonna be beating the fuck out of Anthony right in front of his face, and then afterwards we'll really see what he's talking about.
You see, I have to give you a lot of credit because 2 years ago you were the only one calling out Khabib, and I even said like, "There's no way this fight is gonna happen." And like it almost felt like too much of a shot in the dark. And here you are 2 years later, he's better, and you're still calling him out, and you still want that fight. So I got to give you a lot of credit for that.
And the same thing gonna happen next year. We depending on how they fight shake up, who wins and who loses, and how everybody look. I'm gonna still be calling his ass out next year. And he gonna keep on running from me. But at the end of the day, both these guys, they both know. You really look at the true competitors, we really know what's happening. Conor know, Khabib know. If Conor don't know, then what's the boy named Dylan Hernandez. He need to go ahead and ask him how Dylan's running with me, and then we'll really see what's happening.
What happened? You and Dylan rolled together?
Yeah, we rode together a few times now. I mean, ask him. Hey, you ask him. Tell Conor to ask him and see if he'll give you the real about how you feel about me, and then or what happened between us. Because I know Conor kind of look up to Dylan a little bit and think he hot shit. He all this black belt and all this. But ask him what the real is and see if he tell you the truth.
Damn, we had Dylan Dennis in studio just last week. I wish you would have told me this. I would have asked him about it. So now I have to circle back. Did you guys just do jiu-jitsu, or did you do MMA? What did you do?
We just rolled. Rolled over at Drysdale.
And you beat him up. You beat him up. You embarrassed him.
Did a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of jiu-jitsu, and start tricking off on him and hitting reverse triangles and all that. What can I say? But at the end of the day, again, I feel like I'm the real threat in this. And if I need to go out there and I need to prove it again, then that's what I'll do. I'll do it on October 6th. I'll do it any date. Either way, even if Anthony or whatever, they don't make this fight happen, I'm showing up on October 6th. If I got to sit front row, I'm going to be showing up, but I'm going to be ready to fight. I'm going to weigh in and make sure to play.
Any part of you really want to be on this card just in case something happens to either man in the main event? You can slide in there. Is that the line of thinking as well?
Yeah, I mean, that makes it a little bit easier on me too. It's gonna make it harder getting ready for this camp because I'm gonna be getting prepared with 3 guys in mind. I'm gonna be looking at all their styles because I never know how this is gonna shake out. So it's gonna make the camp a little bit tougher on me. But either way, I'm showing up. Even if I don't have a fight book, I don't care. I'm showing up. I'm making weight, and I'm ready to fight. So. Wow. Because I know these boys, sometimes they want to show up when they want to, especially Khabib. If anything goes wrong with him, if the man stub his toe, he's going to pull out. So I'm there to say today because I've been the most consistent since the beginning anyway.
If that fight happens, who do you think wins?
Between Khabib and Conor?
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of saying the same thing. It is either Khabib's going to get slept or he going to run him over. I'm more on the Khabib gonna get slept side. He doing the same things that he been doing for years, and he making the same mistakes. I kind of almost see it like going like hot DC. You gotta make the same mistakes, and you don't never. If you ain't involved and still in the game, then somebody gonna take advantage of it, especially a smart fighter. Is Conor that smart fighter that can do it? I mean, I don't know. I tend to think so. I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting fight. I'm leaning more towards Conor's gonna sleep him, but it could go the other way too.
Do you think the fight actually happens?
That's the bigger question for me. is if the fight is really gonna happen. I mean, with all this money and all the attention and everything on the line, I mean, I feel like they ain't gonna have no choice. But knowing Khabib, I mean, the man has done it before. He'll have all these people show up here. He'll sign all the contracts. He'll do everything, and then the night before, he'll run to the hospital and say he can't. So I mean, that's gonna be the bigger question. That's really where the money's gonna be made, is if the fight is even gonna happen. If there's a sports book down here that will take my money, I don't know. I might put it on.
Okay, so you've had some trouble getting fights. What makes you think that Pettis is actually going to say yes to this?
I don't know. I got to be real with you. Like, I really don't know. I mean, I'm having, like you said, I'm having trouble with it. Nobody is putting my name in their mouth. That's just, at the end of the day, that's just what it is. I keep calling out guys and guys constantly. No, and they really know what the real fight is, and they don't want it. But I don't know. We're gonna see. Like I said, either way, if they were smart, they would take the fight now before I even start. I still think I'm about 2 years off from really hitting my prime and really getting into my groove of things, and I'm getting better each day. So if they were smart, they would take the fight now, try and catch me while I'm still young. But, look, that's on them whether they want to do that or not. Either way, I'm still in this game for a long ass time.
So we're still like a month and a half away from October 6th. So we still have some time. But just curious, how is the weight doing? How do you feel about cutting down to 155 one more time? I mean, I see you just busting out of that shirt. Holy smokes. I mean, looking fit as ever.
Look, I'm putting in my work. I'm using all their guys too down at the UFC PI. This morning they did another body scan on me. They bringing in some new guys that are really kind of taking recovery and your physiology into the weight cut too, and they really running a lot of tests on me. So I'm using their guys. I'm doing everything in plan to make championship weight on that date anyway. So I mean, the weight is smooth. The weight I'm not a fighter now that I was getting ready for the Tony fight at this time. The Tony fight took place October 7th last year, and I was about 9 pounds heavier than I am right now, and I still made championship weight for that. So we in a good spot.
Wow. Okay. Well, that is good to know. Yeah, I remember that. Of course, that was UFC 216. And can't believe that's almost been a year at this point. Are you hearing anything about 165, or is that a dead issue at this point?
I'm putting it on the back burner.
Okay.
I feel like it's creating too much work for them, and I get it. You know what I mean? Like they talking about they're gonna have to sign this many guys, and you're gonna have to do all this and that. I still, to me, I don't feel like that should come over the health and safety. You shouldn't put the promotion and whether you can do it or not over the health and safety of the fighters, because at the end of the day, that's what's really gonna make the money. Is if you have guys that are showing up healthy and can continue to do this for a long time, then you're gonna see a better return on your investment than guys that are just going out there and we all killing ourselves to do the same thing. So I'm gonna keep pushing for it. I feel like it's something that still needs to be happening, but I'm putting it on the back burner. 155 is still one of the smaller guys at 155. Even at 165, I still want to. I'm the biggest guy out there. It's just at 155 is my home right now. That's where all the focus is. So right now I put it on the back burner and today.
You obviously had a great fight in April. Here you are looking for a fight on the biggest card maybe of all time. What is you keep talking about 2 years and things like that. In your mind, what do you think? Okay, let's just say Pettis says yes. How long before you are actually in a title fight again, in your opinion?
I think it'd be next year. Especially if we make this fight happen with Pettis, I think they can't deny me no longer. If I got to take 1 or 2, I don't give. Like look, I'm getting better in between these fights. So either way, by the end of next year, that title is gonna be wrapped up. We just gonna see. We're gonna see how the whole thing shake up. It really is dependent on them how long they want to run for. But after this, if I got to keep hammering my point home, showing that I'm the best again, then I'm gonna do that. And I'll do it on their show, and I'll really upstage the show too. So that's the goal, that's the vision, and we gonna make it happen.
Considering you've been asking for Khabib for quite some time, but also considering the fact that Conor is the biggest star in the sport, who are you rooting for? Like, who ultimately the dream is title fight against who? To finally get Khabib or to get the big dog?
There's just a big part of me that wants to take that O away from Khabib. That's just always my deal. I always want to be the one to prove people wrong. The Conor fight is there. but I feel like people already know I'm gonna run the man over. So that one to me ain't really as big of a challenge as Khabib. I think people have this, they see Khabib as like this unstoppable Russian tank and all this. But really, when you look at the matchups, what's he gonna do? Is Khabib gonna take me down? Luck with that. If he is he gonna hold me down? Even better luck with that. And is he gonna stand up with me and catch these things on the outside? I like that fight a little bit more. The kind of fight is there because it's fun and it's a lot of money and it's a lot of attention and the everything else around the fight is gonna be fun. But from a competitor standpoint, I kind of like the Khabib fight.
Wow.
So I'm pushing. I'm actually kind of pushing for Khabib to win. I want to be the one to take that. Oh, I hope nobody else do it first.
Wow, that says a lot about you because I think a lot of people would probably say the Conor fight because of all the money that it would bring. So another reason to respect you. By the way, have you been told by the UFC like you are on the card? We just have to find you an opponent, or is it contingent on finding an opponent?
It's on finding the opponent.
Okay.
Which makes sense. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna fill a card that if there's no opponent there. It's just dependent on one of these guys to step up and take the fight. Anthony called for it. He stepped up. He said he wants somebody in the top 10. I'm granting him that wish. Being above him. So I don't see no reason why it shouldn't be made. I'm waiting on the call any day now. Either way, like I said, I'm still in camp. I'm still gonna be preparing. I'm heading out to Morocco for my brother's fight this weekend, and after that, then I'm back in the thing.
Wow.
So by the time I get back, I should be hearing some good news.
Morocco? Your brother's fighting in Morocco?
Yeah, for Brave.
Wow.
Yeah, this weekend. So he gonna go out there. He gonna do his thing. He gonna whoop some ass. I'm gonna be in his corner. But then I'm right back here, back home.
How do you feel about flying to Morocco this close to a potential fight?
We gonna see. Either way, like I just saw the nutritionist this morning. He gave me some things. He gave me everything that I need. I'm only gonna be gone for 2 days, so it ain't gonna be like no huge big deal. But in the meantime, I'm still even looking at them 2 days and seeing what I can do and making sure I stay on point.
All right. And by the way, as far as training is concerned, team, gym, what are we doing for this camp?
I'm still over in Las Vegas. We still doing it at Extreme Couture. I'm still running the show. I've got to move around with some other coaches too, and I think I'm gonna bring another coach out for this camp. I don't know yet. I got to see who the opponent is and
Right.
exactly what the timetable is looking like. But I'm looking at other coaches, but for right now, it's all in Vegas.
All right. And any coach in particular, or depends on the opponent?
I got to move around with Trevor Whitman, and I got to say I like Trevor's style. So, I've got to move around with some other coaches too. But we gonna see. We gonna see how the things shake out.
All right. Good to catch up with you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Yes, and let me know if you get the call about this card on October 6th. I think it would make a lot of sense. Just from the standpoint of having another top contender at 155 on the card, but. You're a guy making a lot of noise. I think it would make a lot of sense. So good luck to you in getting the fight. Thanks for coming on the show. Great to catch up with you. And good luck to your brother as well in Morocco this weekend.
There it is. Appreciate you, my man.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. There he is, the Motown phenom himself, Kevin Lee. Always fired up. Wants a fight on October 6th. And interesting to hear him talk about our friend Dylan Dennis, who, of course, is in Dublin. I don't know why I pointed over there. He was sitting over there when I last talked to him, but very interesting. Said that he rolled with him, and there were some dominant positions involved. Reverse triangle? Wow. Kevin Lee is fun. Showing up to that card, even if he doesn't get an opponent, he's going to make weight. How fun is that? So... I did see that tweet from Anthony Pettis saying that he wants to fight on the card, saying that he wants a top 10 guy. And so let's see. Thought maybe someone would text me in the middle. Let's see if they actually make it happen. Anthony Pettis versus Kevin Lee. Interesting fight. Two top guys. Kevin Lee currently in the lightweight division as far as the UFC rankings are concerned, ranked 5th. Anthony Pettis, coming off that win a little over a month ago, ranked 8th. So it would be a step up. Kevin saying, let's do it. Connor's booked. Ferguson just said that he was cleared. Also saying that he has some fight news. Trying to talk to him, not willing to talk these days. Dustin Poirier is fighting, at least we think he's fighting, Nate Diaz. Eddie Alvarez, of course, we know in kind of limbo. He's in free agency. Kevin Lee, Edson Barbosa, who he just beat. Justin Gaethje fighting James Vick. And then there's Pettis. Iaquinta would be fun. They fought once before. But as of right now, I don't think that Iaquinta would be ready health-wise to compete on October 6th. All right. In a matter of moments, we're going to be joined by Sean O'Malley, one of the bright young stars in the UFC. Everyone has been talking about the Sugar Show. He stole the show at UFC 227 with his outfit, as I said. He looked phenomenal. He's got the facial hair. He's got the hair. He's got the glasses. He's got the clothes. I mean, the guy is just on a roll as of late, undefeated in the UFC, coming off foot surgery. And the word is that he will be fighting on that UFC 229 card October 6th in Las Vegas. Let's talk to the man himself. Let's find out some more. There he is, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Sean, how are you?
Ariel, what's up?
How are you, my man? Everything good?
I'm disappointed I can't see you.
I know I'm disappointed as well, but we're working on that, and you will be able to see me soon. I promise you. Just not today. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I know. It's nicer to see the interviewer. Like, there's more of a connection, right?
There is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, where are you right now?
In bed, waiting to take my nap.
Okay, well, I don't want to keep you waiting. There's a lot going on in your life, so let's get right to it. You were just in Vegas yesterday for like 5 hours, right?
Yes, that was a very quick trip. It was nice. Nice to be home, though.
You flew in to do what?
I met with Sean Shelby. And, I renegotiated my contract and got a fight scheduled. So.
Okay, let's tease it a little bit. First, let's ask about the contract. Are you happy with the contract?
It's weird. It's like in my head, I kind of see everything that's already going to happen that hasn't happened yet. As far as myself blowing up and becoming a superstar. So the number in my head was more than what they offered me. I'm not unhappy with it, but it's all right. It worked out.
Okay, so you're content.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm content.
All right. How many fights did you have left on your old deal?
Well, when I signed with a 4-fight contract, renegotiated after Terrion. Then I fought Andre, and then now just renegotiated. So
wow,
I don't know. I just plan on renegotiating after every fight because I plan on going out there and shocking the world every time.
And how many fights is this one for?
I believe it's another 4-fight contract.
Okay,
but I'm gonna go out there, knock this kid out, and renegotiate again. So that doesn't even matter to me.
And what is it, like 500 show? What are we talking about here? What are the numbers?
It hurts to even say it. I'm not too happy with the numbers, but I just got to play the game.
All right, they'll make it right.
They'll make up for it. But
okay, so who's the kid? Who are we fighting on October 6th?
I was trying to fight Alejandro Perez, but he's out until December with an injury. So they called his cousin Jose Quinones, and he accepted the fight. So I'm fighting Jose. He's on a 4-fight win streak in the UFC. I'm looking to go out there and bounce his head off the canvas. So
it's a done deal. You versus Quinones on October 6th, UFC 229.
Open up the main card is what I was told.
Wow. Open up with a main event, end with a main event.
Yeah, I think the fans really luck out. They get to see. I think my fight and then Connor's fight is really going to be two of the biggest fights. So
now I know you say that you're disappointed with the pay, but to put you, I mean, they're strategic with who they're putting on that main card. That has to feel like a vote of confidence, right? That they're going to have you kick off maybe the biggest card in UFC history. You got to feel the love there, right?
I do. Also, I was kind of wanting to, because obviously I'm not going to be able to see the numbers. Obviously, that pay-per-view is going to be one of the biggest ones of all time, and I can't really say like it was because of me, because Conor and Khabib is really what it comes down to. So I was kind of hoping I could get on the last fight on the Fox card, kind of be my own main event for the Fox card, but it's hard to. I don't really know if I have any say in that, but that would be where I'd like to be. But I think opening up the Conor card is something in itself.
Did you even pitch that?
What's that?
Did you pitch that to them? Did you say that you'd rather be the main event of the prelim, so to speak?
Yeah, they want me opening up the main card. I think they know. They know what they're doing. They know I'm going to be a superstar. They know I'm already a superstar, and they know what they're doing. So I'm just kind of trusting that.
Okay. And now, how did we fall on Quinones? Where did he come from, and what did you think of the matchup when you were offered it?
Yeah, I looked him up, seen he was on a 4-fight win streak. Watched one of his fights, and I think it's a good matchup for me. I really think I'm gonna go out there and get my first finish in the UFC. I was looking for a finish in the Tyrion fight. I was looking for a finish on that Andre fight, and I really want to finish. So I think this is the perfect opponent for me to go out there and finish him.
Are you impressed with what you saw?
Anybody who's on a 4-fight win streak in the UFC is tough. So I think it's a perfect opponent. He'll be able to take some shots on the chin, and eventually he'll go down. But I'd be surprised if I don't finish him. I would be very upset with myself and kind of disappointed if I don't go out there and finish this kid.
Yeah, and just to remind people, he's coming off a win over Teruto Ishihara. Maybe that's the fight that you just saw of his back in February?
Yes, that's the one.
All right. Now, how is the foot feeling?
The foot's 100%. I'm ready to rock. It feels good.
Okay, when did you get cleared?
I started, so it's been about, 5 months, 5.5 months. I started training a couple months ago.
Okay.
Just kind of getting back into it, but now my foot's not even a problem anymore. It's good to go.
No restrictions, no nothing.
No, I'm getting a cortisone shot tomorrow in my hip. I have a small tear in my labrum in my hip.
Wow.
But when they offered this fight on this card, I was gonna get surgery on it, but when they offered me this, I had to take it. It's a huge opportunity, and I'll be able to get a cortisone shot and be ready to rock. So.
How many times do you have to get it shot?
I'm gonna get one tomorrow, and then I'm gonna get one a couple weeks out.
Okay.
From the fight.
And after the fight, you need surgery on your hip?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do surgery after the fight. Unfortunately, unless I can really strengthen it, I'm gonna do a lot of physical therapy, and work with this guy that I really like, and hopefully maybe even just strengthen up the muscles around it, and maybe not need to get surgery right after the fight. Depending on how good I do with the physical therapy. But I guess it's only like a 4-week recovery or something. I might have to look into that. I might have heard that wrong, but.
Okay. I'm assuming you've been missing it, right? I see your social media. I mean, March wasn't that long ago, but we are approaching, almost 6 months since you've been away. I'm assuming you're jonesing to get back in there.
Yeah, this is pretty much what I do every day is train and want to fight. So I've just been keeping busy with Fortnite and gaming, and I'm ready to get back into training camp. I'm actually really excited to start training camp. I think we're 8 weeks out. Today was my first day of training camp, so went and got a good training session in this morning. Then I'm taking my daily nap, and then I got training this afternoon. So it feels right being in camp.
Are we just exclusively playing Fortnite these days, or are we venturing out a little bit?
Pretty much just sticking to Fortnite. They had the new Black Ops comes out in October, and they had a beta that I was playing a little bit over the weekend. So, but I'm pretty much just into Fortnite right now until Black Ops comes out in October.
Now, let me ask you your opinion. I spoke to DJ about this, but my son, he's 6 years old. We actually had a big fight about this over the weekend. He keeps bringing his iPad to me saying, please, download it for me, please. He wants Fortnite. All his friends are playing Fortnite. I'm saying no. What do you think? Am I being a stickler, or should I let him play?
What's your reasoning behind the no?
It feels violent. It feels like 6 years old. Play Mario Brothers. Like play something a little more innocent. Pac-Man. Why do you have to be shooting guns?
That's the thing that comes with being a dad. That's just your choice you have to make, and I'm glad I don't have kids yet because I don't know how I would.
Would you let your 6-year-old play Fortnite?
Totally up to you. I don't think Fortnite's. I mean, it is a violent game, but it's pretty cartoonish, and there's no. I don't know. Who am I to say?
No, I was just curious because I've never actually played it, so I kind of feel like a hypocrite. But I've seen all the clips. I've seen the people dancing. It seems like it's a fun time. But on the other hand, it's like a guy shooting gun or a woman shooting gun, right? I mean, it's like it's a lot.
There's definitely shooting and killing in the game, but I'm sure he watches. Does he watch TV? I guess I don't know. Who am I to say?
All right, okay.
That's why I have dogs.
Yes, you're too young for this kind of responsibility. Now, what are the chances you knock out Quinones on October 6th and then you do that L dance with the L on your head and you do the dance like Greisman did in the World Cup? Would you do that as a nod to the fellow Fortnite players?
I don't know if I'll do the L dance, but I'll definitely got to figure out one of the dances. And I'm planning on a very nice KO, and I really want one.
Okay. Yeah, that would be nice. Maybe we could get Ninja to the card. You know Ninja? You know my guy Ninja?
Ninja, the Fortnite guy Ninja.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
who you're
yeah.
talking about.
That's my guy.
Yeah. Is it?
Not really, no. But I know he makes
Ninja,
500,000.
Yeah, he's the man when it comes to Fortnite. I played against him in that tournament in LA. So, and I shot him like twice, and then he headshot me.
Oh man, is he a cool guy?
I didn't really talk to him too much. He was kind of the man at the
I hear
Fortnite
ya.
tournament, so I just
Yeah.
said what's up, and that's about it.
Now, do we have a new tattoo on our face over there, or is that old, the sugar one?
Just got the sugar one
Look at
and the
that.
star.
Yeah, the star, but the sugar one wasn't there before, or was it?
No, that was after. That was a couple months ago.
Wow, I like it. Well done.
Yeah, I had to do it.
Why did you have to do it?
Well, when I have an urge, I just gotta fulfill it, and I had an urge to get it, and I just did it.
And are you happy with it?
Yeah, I love it.
Does it hurt? Does it hurt more on the face?
No, it hurts a lot less. Like it wasn't bad at all.
Okay. Wow. Why less? I wonder why. Maybe the skin is just different there.
I'm just used to 8-hour sessions and 6-hour sessions, and that's like a 10-minute session, so it goes by a lot quicker. And
Now, can I just say something? Your look at UFC 227, I mean, that was a thing of beauty. You stole the show. You were the star of that event. You didn't even step foot in the cage. What happened there? How did you put that together? Who helped you with that?
that outfit,
Yeah.
it was inspired. Well, Danny, I don't know if she's my girlfriend. I don't know. I don't like labels, but
Okay,
Danny,
fine.
this girl I've been talking to for the last 3 years, she's super into the fashion industry. She helps me with my hair and with my outfits and stuff. And we actually found a lot of that stuff at thrift shop. So we were thrift shopping, threw something together, got a little inspiration by Jimi Hendrix, and kind of just threw it together. So.
Oh my God, you must have got a ton of props for that, right? A lot of love.
Yeah, I did. It was awesome.
And one underrated thing that you've brought into the mix that you didn't have last time, the facial hair, I think changes everything, right? I mean, that's a big difference.
Yeah, I don't look. Yeah, it kind of was just random. I think after surgery, I just didn't care to shave. I just let it grow and played Fortnite. And next thing I knew, I had some facial hair, and I like it.
Are you gonna keep it for the fight?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it for the fight. I'm probably cornrow my hair again. That was it's nice not having my hair bouncing around in my face, so I'm gonna probably do that again. But we'll see. Maybe something crazy. I don't know.
I'm assuming there were a few nights where you were kind of bored. You were probably at home playing Fortnite for so long because you couldn't train or anything. You had the broken foot. Did it get like really depressing? Did it get really boring at home?
At the time, I was super addicted to Fortnite. Like I was playing 8 hours a day. But yeah, I wouldn't say depressed. It was definitely it was weird not being able to train because that's how I listened to a lot of podcasts and stuff, but it sucks not being able to train. You just got to figure out other ways to make yourself happy and, learn. I got to learn a lot about myself and who I am and how to make myself happy without training. So it turned out to be good.
What are some of your go-to podcasts?
I love Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's podcast is always a good one. Aubrey Marcus, he has a good podcast. And then I've been doing a lot of Audible books. Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday I've been listening to. He has a lot of good books. So I've been doing a lot of learning.
I feel like you were just about to say Joe Rogan is the best, and then you stop yourself because you didn't want to offend me. But you could say he's the best. That's okay. I won't be offended.
I don't think I was going to say that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I was going to say that. I think you made that up. But
yes. You could have thrown, even if you don't listen to mine, you could have just thrown mine in there just as like a token.
Oh, I was just listening to yours before I came on with Kevin Lee.
Yeah. You like Kevin Lee?
Yeah, I actually met Kevin a few times in Vegas. He's super cool. I've been meeting, traveling to all these events. Got to meet Donald Cerrone, Chris Weidman, Kevin Lee. I met a bunch of cool guys. And they're all super cool. I haven't ran into anyone I didn't like. And
when you're sitting there front row, we're watching TJ. In your mind, you're saying to yourself, how far am I away from fights like this against guys like that? In your mind, when you're watching it, what do you think?
It's weird because in my mind, it sounds whatever. In my mind, I'm the champ. In my mind, I'm the guy that everyone wants to see, whether that's true in other people's opinions or not. Like in my mind, I'm the champ. I'm the man. I'm the dude. So it's watching them live. Watching people on TV, they look bigger, faster. They look all these things on TV. Being there live, they look. What is TJ, 5'6"?
Yeah, something like that.
He's a little dude. It was cool to see how little they were. And they weren't as fast as I thought they were. I was glad I got to go watch it live. It really made me, because going into if I had to fight one of them, I'm confident. You know what I mean? It's not like these guys are out of my league or these. I'm just 2-0 in the UFC. I haven't had the amount of fights I need to get to that spot. So I'm just playing the game. Gonna go out there and knock out Jose, and then figure out what's up from there.
And this time, I hope that they put you, if they do open workouts, that they don't slight you this time, right?
I think they know. I think they know I'm gonna be the next big thing. I'm the next big draw. I'm gonna be the next pay-per-view king, and I think they know that. It's pretty. I don't think there's really anybody else out there that you could really say that about. So
Have you been talking to Snoop lately?
I haven't talked to Snoop.
All
I
right.
haven't talked to him again.
And what's up with Ricardo Ramos? He keeps talking about you, and he was saying that maybe you guys had some sort of like altercation or a run-in at 227. He really wants a piece of you. You know Ricardo Ramos?
Yeah, I was standing right next to him at 227. He didn't say anything. I don't know.
Nothing. He didn't say
Him and that Brian Kelleher.
Kelleher.
I
Yeah.
think they both have hard-ons for me. I don't know. It's like him and Retardo. I don't know what the deal is. Hey, there you are on the TV right there.
Oh, there I am. What's that? What is that?
I was watching YouTube and it's just kind of running through clips. So I don't really know what it is.
Wow, that's weird. Well, I see now you can see me, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, watch you.
So Ricardo, nothing happened.
No, I was standing right next to him. He didn't. Did he say something happened or did someone say?
That's what I was being told, but I didn't know if it was true or not.
Huh. No, yeah, I don't know. Him and Brian both
They want you.
trying to take my hype. I don't know. Maybe they need to go out there and perform better. Or he hardly beat Jackie Chan. I don't know what his deal is.
Okay, last thing for you, Sean. And again, thanks for doing this. Thanks for coming on. How's the business doing? You had your own your Strand. Is it Strand or Strain? I never know if it's right. Strand?
Yeah, I have my own strand, Sugar Show OG. It's doing good. It's only out in California right now. We're trying to get it into Vegas, Florida, Canada, and a couple other countries. So it's doing good. And then I'm also, I'm kind of branching out into the marijuana industry. I'm signed with Optic Gaming, who's a huge gaming professional gaming team. So I'm kind of branching off into other industries. So eventually, UFC is gonna have to pay me because I'm making some good money outside the UFC. I'm making more than all these dudes fighting in the UFC outside of the UFC. So
wow,
it's doing good.
So you're making more money with that business than you are actually fighting.
Well, that last fight I made 97,000 with the bonus. I'm making more than that with sponsors without fighting. So it's,
wow.
The UFC is gonna have to step up soon enough.
Yeah, I wish they would have done it yesterday. After this fight, they will.
Yeah, I told them October 7th I'll be in Vegas and we can renegotiate.
All right. Well, first things first, October 6th, UFC 229, Jose Quinones, El Teco, they call him. Won his last 4 in a row, as Sean pointed out. Sean undefeated in the UFC. This is going to be fun. I'm happy to hear that your foot is feeling better, that you're 100%, and that they're putting you on this card. They're showcasing you. That's great to hear. Sean, thanks for doing this. Great to catch up with you, and hopefully next time we'll be able to see each other.
Yes, thank you, Ariel. I appreciate it. I always love coming on your show. I haven't done any interviews
You're the
since
man.
surgery. I've been getting a ton, but yours is always worth it.
Thank you, Sean. That means a lot to me. We'll talk to you soon. All the best to you. Good luck in training as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, there he is. Sugar Sean O'Malley, a.k.a. The Sugar Show. You heard it just there. O'Malley fighting Jose Alberto Quinones, a.k.a. El Teco. He's won his last 4 in a row. He looked good in his last fight against Teruto Ishihara. Also wins over Diego Rivas, Joey Gomez, Leandro Morales. Has a loss to Alejandro Perez as well. I like to say their names like that. Rolls right off the tongue. And so there you have it. He's going to be opening up the card on pay-per-view, UFC 229, October 6th, Las Vegas. Very smart of them to put someone. And as I was talking about earlier, you have a situation where you got Conor, you got Khabib. Everyone thinks that fight is going to be so big. Everyone knows that fight is going to sell. It's a no-brainer, right? Well, how about you fill the card with young guns who don't cost a lot of money, who aren't going to command a piece of the pay-per-view pie. You put them on there, you showcase them, you get people excited about them. Makes all the sense in the world. Sugar Sean O'Malley would fit that bill. Kevin Lee would fit that bill. This is good stuff. So UFC 229 is coming together slowly but surely. We'll see if they actually get Kevin Lee on that card, but we now know that Sugar Sean O'Malley is going to fight, and that is good. That is a good call. All right, in a matter of moments, we'll check in with our friend New York Rick, see what he's thinking in terms of. There wasn't that much to talk about this weekend, this past weekend, as far as gambling is concerned. Ryzen had a card, but there wasn't a whole lot going on. This weekend, like I said, there's Bellator. There was a Glory card, and I know that he loves the Glory, but there's Bellator this weekend. There's PFL on Thursday. The Bellator card is very good. I like the Bellator card. As I said earlier, Darion Caldwell moving up. It's really about Caldwell and James Gallagher. The return of James Gallagher. We haven't seen him in action since June of last year, that MSG card when he fought Shinzo Machida. So I think it's a big spot for him. Showcase him in South Dakota. Caldwell Lahat, Logan Storley, 8-0 against AJ Matthews. Ricky Bandejas, who's the guy who's fighting James Gallagher, is a super top prospect out of the Northeast. And Speedy Claxton, who's 2-0, is also on the card as well. So a lot of young studs. Don't be shy, New York Rick. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for an invitation? What are you waiting for?
An introduction.
Just sit down. Introduction. The guy's standing there for the last 5 minutes waiting for me to roll out the red carpet for him. I don't go all day here, New York Rick, all right?
Hello.
How are you? Have a seat. You did a great job. Nice job with the Jason Wilness pull over there.
You know.
That was a good job on you. Who is Jason Willis? Tell us about him.
Jason Wilness is a middleweight fighter for Glory who defeated Israel in a title match. Jason was the reigning champion. Israel came in to compete for that belt.
Okay.
Jason beat him. This was in Los Angeles, Glory 37, early last year. I believe it was January of last year.
Okay.
And that was Israel's last fight for Glory. And so it would make sense if I was Derek Brunson to go to one of the last people who did beat Israel. He had some interesting points about Israel's, ranking or status in the kickboxing world. And, clearly he's not impressed with his striking, which I think is a statement by Derek Brunson for sure.
Anything you want to say about the show today? Anything that stood out? We just had Sean O'Malley, breaking news. Got a lot of people who are fired up today. Santiago Ponzinibbio and his ears and the earbuds not sticking in, calling RDA a diva. We got life lessons from Mickey Gall. We got life lessons from Corey Anderson, Paige Van Zandt talking about her wedding and the haters and whatnot. Anything you want to weigh in on? Anything that stood out?
I think you summed it up pretty nicely.
That's it?
I was interested in Sean O'Malley's tips for youngsters.
He had no tips.
But
he had 0 tips for me. That's a guy who does not want to think about having kids. He said, just the idea of calling someone his girlfriend made him uncomfortable. That's a guy who's living his best life. God bless Sean O'Malley.
Making some good money outside the cage, it sounds like.
Yes, making some good money, selling some weed or marijuana, whatever the kids call it these days. Is that a bad word? Am I going to get in trouble for that?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. I'm laughing more at whatever the kids call it these days. But esports sponsorships, I mean, it's big time. It's big time out here for Sean O'Malley.
I don't know if you know this, but Ninja makes $500,000 a month. I feel like I say this all the time. I probably say that. I'm at a birthday party for my kids. Yesterday, my kids, by the way, were at a birthday party, and there was a video game thing on wheels. It's basically like an 18-wheeler, right? But they go in the 18-wheeler and they play video games for an hour.
They truck over video games. The kids go in. It's like one of those limos from Vegas with the lights. It's pitch black. There's 6 screens. I took a picture if there was a way I could put it up. But anyways, there's 6 screens, and they sit, and you can either play FIFA or Madden or Mario Kart. What else was there? Super Smash Brothers. And they just sit there for an hour. This sounds like a parent's dream.
It actually is kind of a parent's nightmare because then you see them walk out of the truck.
Yeah.
You're sitting on the lawn. You're waiting for them. They walk out, and they're like this,
yes,
with their eyes.
But
it's a sunny day, and they're sitting in a dark room playing video games for an hour. It's not the greatest thing in the world.
But you know where they are, and they can't really escape. They're kind of just trapped in there.
Yeah.
And it's like,
oh,
go do your thing.
That's nice, but stimulation-wise,
well, yeah, and then you have
a lot of weird things
to deal with
happening in there.
the fallout, the repercussions of what they've been doing in there.
Esports taking over the world. All right, what do we got? It was a quiet weekend, right?
I think we have a few relevant questions
to
ask here.
No question of the day, so we'll start with a question from a fan.
I had a question, but then I was like, people aren't. My question was going to be like if you enjoyed having the weekend off.
Interesting.
But guess what? I can ask that question next week.
You can.
Yeah.
And I personally didn't have the weekend off. I was over in Denver
That's
for
right.
Glory, as you mentioned.
That's right. How was it? Good?
A great show. 2 title fights. One huge upset. Controversial. Anissa Mexen dropping her title.
That's right. Saw that.
To Jadi Menezes. I think they'll be doing that one again.
Rematch.
It was quite controversial.
Okay.
The Denver judges not doing their jobs.
Oh, really?
On that one.
Wow. Colorado.
Okay. Questions here.
Yes.
Sal Zam asks, do you think it is good for fighters to know how much the opponents are making? They quote tweeted here Lucas Middlebrook, who this week tweeted an excerpt from the litigation with Mark Hunt and the UFC, where essentially it was said it would hurt the UFC's business to reveal what these actual fighter salaries are.
Yes.
Do you think that it is time for purses to be fully disclosed?
100%. It helps. Look, the UFC doesn't want it out there.
Right.
Because they don't want Sean O'Malley to be like, wait a second, why is Sage Northcutt or whatever the case is, right, making X amount. More often than not, like we would always, at MMA Fighting, we would always post the salaries. And I was always kind of against that. That and the medical suspensions. Because
they were publicly reported.
Yeah, but they're not accurate. They're never
Correct.
accurate. It's just whatever they put in the contract that they want out there, that it doesn't look too, suspicious. But more often than not, especially as you get higher up, like Conor McGregor on October 6th, it's probably going to say more than $1 million because that's too, far-fetched. But when they were saying he was making $1 million, he wasn't making $1 million.
Can we step back for a second and talk about the process of that, right?
Yeah.
So the UFC has contracts with the fighters.
Yeah.
Those contracts are made aware by the athletic commissions.
Yeah.
The athletic commissions have those numbers that are in the contracts or the bout agreements rather.
Yeah.
And then that number is then shown after
Yeah.
the fight by the athletic commission. It is not the UFC saying this is what we pay our fighters. It is a disclosure from the athletic commission. And you also talked about the medical suspensions. That is also post-fight, whatever the doctors determine. Those are then given forth. But that's not given forth by the UFC. It's given forth by the athletic commission. I think that's important because some people may not know who's actually putting these things out there.
Sure, but
and now
when guys sign the contracts,
right,
there's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge that we're going to put it as this amount, but we're really going to pay you this amount.
Right.
There's like almost 2 contracts.
Or there's bonuses. There's all kinds of ways to make that number inaccurate now.
Yes.
That the commission is saying this is the number, but that is not potentially the number.
And by the way, the reason the UFC doesn't want this number public is for the reason I just mentioned.
Yeah.
So that guys can't say, why is he making more? I'm ranked this, he's ranked that. If I'm a fighter, I want it all public so that I can compare, right? If I knew what my competitors were making, that only benefits me and my management.
Is it going to be an initial shock at first for fighters to do that? Do all fighters want? I think there might be some reservations at first for having your salaries out there to the public. Because
who would be against it, the top dog or the small dog?
I don't know. I think I wouldn't want people to know my salary.
Sure.
I don't know if you would or wouldn't based on.
I don't care. What is it? This? No, I'm kidding.
But it's not common outside of, or it's not common anywhere but sports. In NBA, NFL, we know exactly how much these guys are being paid because it's publicly disclosed when they're.
Do you
signing
think they're
the
more okay with it because they're making so much that it doesn't even matter at some point? Like it doesn't even matter.
I think they're
if
okay with it
or
because it's
million.
standard procedure at this point because they are used to that ecosystem. They are used to that environment. I think there will be an initial shock if everybody's salaries are truly revealed. If the real money is out there, but I think it will ultimately be beneficial. There's no doubt in my mind that knowing where you stand, knowing the playing field, will benefit everybody in combat sports. So my thought is, I think it would be good for fighters to know what everybody is making.
I agree.
And I think you agree.
I agree. 100%. If I'm a fighter, I'm pushing for that.
Yeah. Even though, look, if you may not want your salary to be disclosed, the reality is you're helping what that salary will be by being able to negotiate.
And by the way, if I'm Conor, I want everyone knowing that I make $100 million or whatever it is, 50 million, 60 million.
Him is the far end of the spectrum versus the guy who's on the low end or the guy who's in the middle that doesn't necessarily want people
it's going to be like the top. It's going to be like the contender who's not yet a champion. He's going to be the one I think that will feel a little funny about it because he may think that he's getting underpaid, or maybe a Sean O'Malley type.
But if he feels like he's being underpaid, the best path to getting whatever he thinks he deserves is looking at other people who are comparable and saying, this is what I should be getting.
That's why I would push for it.
So it may be uncomfortable, but the reality is ultimately I think it will benefit in the long run.
Yep.
SS Ashy 17 asks, should we look too much into this back and forth between TJ Dillashaw and Gervonta Davis? Both have plenty to be getting on with in their own fight, but could something interesting come out of this? What do you make of the
interesting
boxing
to note that I reached out to Gervonta Davis' team, and they wouldn't come on the show. I don't know why, but I did try to get them to come on to talk about this. Look, it's very transparent. We know what's going on here. They want to make money. They're trying to sell something. It's Mayweather McGregor super light. Just saw a video, by the way, and Captain Eric sent it to me of TJ and Cejudo with friend of the program, Mario Lopez. Doing a little tete-a-tete. I couldn't listen to it. Was anything said of note?
It was
let's do it.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
I just think, look, Gervonta called him out. TJ would be a dummy not to take the bait.
Yeah, for sure.
So they're going back and forth. Every time they go back and forth, it's generating a lot on social media. Like there's like 5,000 retweets and things like that. So people seem to be digging it. But no, this is silly.
I think Gervonta is smart in the sense that he seems to be paying attention to what's actually happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times these boxers are not really following MMA very closely. He seems to know at least what's relatively going on and trying to insert himself into the conversation. But I don't know if I'm necessarily even interested in that fight. I'd like to see.
Of course, I wouldn't boycott it, but I want to see we've seen that. We need to take a break from the boxing versus MMA thing. Now, if Gervonta actually wants to come to MMA and do it,
now I'm interested.
Yeah, but if it's the opposite, no.
Corey asks, with most of the champions being either booked, injured, or having recently fought, is it possible MSG's main event is a non-title fight? UFC 230. Are we looking at potentially?
Corey's a smart guy.
What's that?
Corey's a smart guy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, it's possible.
I think it's possible as well. I mean, it's just numbers wise.
Yeah.
There's only so many fights you can do that are going to be big and enough to headline the MSG card.
What do you think's the main event right now? Call it. Go on the record.
Oh boy.
Just based on who's available.
Does GSP come back? GSP versus.
Say something.
GSP versus.
Do it.
I don't know. Well, actually, finding a GSP opponent is the difficult part because it won't be. I mean, could it be Connor? You know what?
GSP Connor you're going with? It's like a month later.
Yeah, if he comes out uninjured.
Stop it. I'm fighting a month later.
That's the problem is the opponents are all fighting. You know, everybody was talking about GSP Diaz, although GSP isn't particularly interested in that. He's supposedly fighting on that card, so that's not going to happen. I got nothing.
All right.
I got nothing.
Good job on
I
that
got nothing. I don't know who's going to fight there, but I do think it will be a non-title fight.
All right, we'll find out.
You're so close to
we'll
just
find
saying
out.
something.
On this one, I got to plead the fifth.
Nick the Dane asks, will DC return to light heavyweight? It's a poll that
before
says,
it's all said and done.
Love that Popeye's chicken. Yeah, do we ever see DC at light heavyweight?
If I'm advising Daniel Cormier, if he called me up today, Helwani, what should I do? Never, ever, ever go down to 205 again. Ever.
John Jones fight?
Heavyweight. You're better at heavyweight. You're stronger at heavyweight. You're more powerful at heavyweight.
John Jones has no interest in going back to heavyweight.
Back to heavyweight? He's never been to heavyweight.
John Jones has no interest in going up to heavyweight. You got to get the one back that you lost.
Okay.
Does he do it?
No. Don't do it. Brock Lesnar's waiting there. Anyone's waiting there.
He has put himself on a clock. There's very few fights left.
Realistically, and I've asked him this a million times, even in private, are you really retiring in March?
He says, yeah.
Yeah. And I've also asked him, are you really going to go down to 205? And he said, yeah. At some point.
Of those things.
Well, something's got to give. It's August, right?
Yeah.
There's only 7 months left. So at some point, something's got to give. I get a little funny, I have to say, when everyone's like, defender, vacate. Come on. Let's relax here. The guy fought in January. Yeah. Then he fought in July in a fight that the UFC booked. And he just broke his hand and fought like a month ago. Like, I love Latifi. Love him. But you just pulled out of a fight.
I I hate defender vacate. I hate that stuff.
Well,
When
I
you're
mean,
chasing
sometimes it
Yeah.
actually applies. In this case,
But-
it doesn't apply.
Well, it doesn't apply yet because I think there's an expiration date on Cormier being able to definitively say, like, I plan to go down to light heavyweight. At the moment, he's still saying that.
Right.
There's a certain point where he knows that he's not or he is. If you're booked in a light heavyweight fight, that's a damn good indicator that you are. But at a certain point, he does have to stop, playing footsie with the idea of going back to light heavyweight.
Something's got to give soon. So
Yeah.
it's not like we're going to have to wait a very long time to find out. But I just think, like, let's give the guy a break. He just broke his hand and he just fought.
It's too soon. It's
Yes.
too soon to be demanding.
Again, he last fought in January at 205.
Yeah.
If come next January he still has no intention, okay, now we can start talking, right?
Yeah. Although we've been
You know
quick
my
to
1 year
strip
rule.
titles. 1 year.
1 year you got to
That's
have
the time frame.
a fight booked or actually fight.
I'm in agreement with that time frame. I like it. It's a very specific case though. Jenks asks, how does Ariel feel about Everton's start to the new
my God.
Premier League season? They had a player red carded after 10 minutes, but still managed to fight back and draw 2-2 with the Wolves.
I mean, what a result. First of all, Everton legend Wayne Rooney with a fantastic what?
So now you're going away from Everton
Well,
to
no,
MLS action.
I just wanted to say he had a fantastic ball there, as they like to say, where he ran down the guy against Orlando last night, ran him down, stole the ball, tackled him, then came back, and then I mean must have kicked it like 100 yards, and then the other guy got a hat trick. I mean, it was just it was unbelievable.
If I had lied and read a different score for the draw with the Wolves, would you have known?
No, of course I did. What a great
The 1-1 draw, like, would you have known?
Listen, it started out slow. It was 2-2, by the way. Why are you laughing? It was 2-2.
Yeah.
Some great strikes from Richarlison and Jessica, and I just think that we got to start slow a little bit sometimes. But I'm in. It's coming home. And up the Reds.
Excuse me. Okay. This last question, this one's for me.
Yes. It's from you or for you?
For me, from
okay.
Stockpile. Is Hugh Jackman your uncle? And does he top his buffalo chicken pizza with Parmesan cheese?
What?
He's not my uncle. But do you have any idea where this buffalo chicken pizza with Parmesan cheese thing is coming from? I thought maybe this is something weird you mentioned because I know you have an interesting favorite pizza combination.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe this was
green
related
olives
to that.
and pineapple.
Yeah, no, that's not.
That's the bomb.
That's not doing it for me. Okay, not my uncle, and no idea if he tops buffalo chicken pizza with Parmesan cheese.
First of all, who eats buffalo chicken pizza?
Doesn't sound great.
Period. And then with Parmesan. I've seen people put Parmesan on pizza, by the way.
Yeah. People do that all the time.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, that's not a weird thing. I guess it's just a chick. But is that like
you had me confused for a second. I was like, well,
I've never
that
done
weird?
it. I've never done that, but I've seen people do it.
Yeah, you put the red peppers, the red pepper, and you put the crushed pepper, and you put the Parmesan or the garlic.
Yeah. But buffalo chicken. But is that like a joke about Hugh Jackman?
No, I have no idea.
All right.
I thought I was hoping you could decode it for me.
No, I got nothing.
But he's not my uncle. I wish. He's great. He's very talented. Funny gif out there recently with him going to, I believe, Ethiopia and meeting some little kids, and they go like, they're doing the Wolverine claws. They're like, that's you. And he's like, yeah, that's me. Very cute.
That's cool.
Hugh Jackman, the man.
Any lines for us?
So, no,
there's nothing. No Bellator, eh?
There's new lines added for the fight night coming up, but we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
So we'll take a pause on that. But we may also be talking, fantasy sports moving forward, daily fantasy, betting. We'll be expanding the roster a little bit.
There's nothing. They don't do Bellator odds?
They do them closer to event time.
No PFL.
No, closer to event time.
Like what? The day before?
Sometimes.
Why?
Sometimes like week of, sometimes day before, because there's so much UFC.
We need to get a bookie who just hooks us up. Like my personal bookie who will hook me up. You know what I'm saying? That would be nice. I'm kind of surprised about the Bellator one. Caldwell fighting.
It could be
Gallagher.
It could be tomorrow. It could be the day after. But no, those lines usually come up closer to the event time. If I see something I like, maybe I'll tweet it out. But for now, next week we will have a full breakdown on the fight night event.
Raquel Pennington is fighting Jermaine Durandamy in Denver. Man, people don't like Jermaine right now. You ever look at the comments when something is tweeted about her?
I've seen some of them.
Jeez. Not very nice.
I like that fight, though, and I like that fight for both of them.
I like the fight, too, but I kind of feel bad for her.
I do feel bad. Pennington in her hometown, so it'll be tougher.
Yeah.
But I like that fight a lot.
Greg Hardy won again, so we'll see what the UFC does with him. Like I said, Aaron Pico against Leandro Ego is a very big step up in competition for Mr. Pico. Cody Garbrandt, according to his manager, Ali Abdelaziz, broke his hand. Husimar Palhares stole the show last week.
Oh, yeah.
Holy smokes.
Beefy.
What is that guy on? What is going on over there?
Horse
What
meat?
is happening? It's something. I don't know what it is, but it is something. Leon Edwards wants Jorge Masvidal, and Michelle Waterson is fighting Felice Herrig. So they're starting to fill out that UFC 2. Not once is fighting Felice Herrig, I should say. They're starting to fill out that card, that UFC 229 card. And so we'll see what they come up with. I do feel like it needs like maybe one or two. Like it doesn't have to be the biggest fight of all time, but there needs to be something. Like right now we've got LaFleur, Tony Martin, Lena Landsberg against Yana Kunitskaya, Sergio Pettis against Jussier Formiga is a good fight.
That's a
very
great
good fight at flyweight. OSP versus Dominic Reyes. I like Dominic Reyes. Felice Herrig against Michelle Waterson. So you see a theme here, at least I do. They're featuring some young guns, right? They're featuring guys like Pettis and Formiga. They're featuring Dominic Reyes, Sean O'Malley being on the card. Kevin Lee would make sense as well. Yeah. So maybe not the most expensive fighters to put on the card, but certainly people that you think could turn into stars.
Yeah.
Volkov would be another guy that you might think could turn into a star, and having him on the same card as Khabib, both Russian, I think makes a lot of sense as well. So there's something there, but it's not going to be one of those cards with like 2 title fights and, you know, the biggest names in the world.
Well, 230 is coming up after that.
They just don't need to do it. They just don't have to do it. There's no sense. Right? People are going to buy that pay-per-view if there's one fight on the card and it's like me and you filling out the rest of it. It just doesn't matter, right? Ticket sales are going to come out, or the ticket prices, I should say, are going to come out. Tickets will go on sale, I believe, later on this week. It's going to be topped out, last I heard, at around $2,500 for the most expensive, unless you buy one of those like crazy packages. Have you ever looked at those packages?
I have looked at them, the VIP like experience packages.
They're nuts. They're like $5,000.
Yeah, but they cram a lot of stuff in there for you to do.
Yeah, they do. All right, so we'll have plenty of time to talk about that. Anything else?
Steven Jensen tweeting, Ninja makes way more than $500,000 per month.
You think so?
It's probably double or triple that amount, to be honest, he says.
Is that true?
I mean, maybe sponsors, maybe all that other stuff that is involved. He didn't cite a source, so I don't know how well he knows.
Good for that kid. That kid's everyone's dream. I mean, he is living every 6-year-old's dream. My son tells me his dream was to work for National Geographic and be a photographer for animals. Whoa. But now the dream is to play video games on YouTube.
Well, you better start training him now.
He is, trust me.
He's training hard.
Birthday party.
Those guys burn out quick.
Yeah.
Like you're retired by 27.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, why?
You lose the reflexes, the
really?
dexterity. Oh yeah.
What? With your
burnt
hand?
out on gaming? Yeah. Hand-eye coordination, all that stuff.
Wow.
Starts going downhill. You're best in that like.
So what's Sugar Sean
young
doing?
Rage.
He's playing 3 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying you're gonna be, out of the game,
right?
But you're not gonna be on top. You're not gonna be the guy. It's a younger
young man's sport.
You peak young
kid
in
sport.
those. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know.
Oh yeah, I peaked young.
You peaked young?
Yeah, I was pretty nice at Call of Duty.
Really?
At everything. you know what? No, I was pretty good on the sticks.
Really?
At some point.
All right. Okay, so more fights this weekend, but I think it's time to go. Everyone wants us to go. They're done with us here. It's been a fun show, though. Thank you very much. Let's see if anyone's texting me while we've been on the air. Oh, here's my mom. Don't let Ollie play Fortnite. There you go. Mom weighs in. Sorry, Ollie, you're not playing. You can hit my music, though. We are out of time. What a fun day it has been. We have covered a lot of ground with a lot of different people. By the way, how about that Demetrius Johnson, huh? I mean, how do you not love that guy, right? Even though you're not on camera, because I've specifically said not to have you on camera during the goodbye, you could still weigh in, unless they took away your ability to speak. Say something. Ah, they cut your mic. Damn. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. But that was great stuff from Demetrius. I appreciate it very much. Hope he gets well soon. And also, once again, best of luck to his wife, Destiny. I have to say, I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch all the Heart Foundation clips that I can find. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, my heart breaks. Literally. I am so sad. I am so sad to hear about this. I love those guys. That was the best. That era, that tag team, kills me. Really does. I am so sad to hear about this. Again, my condolences to his family, my respects, my thoughts, really sad to hear. That one really hurt. We've kind of become used to this and somewhat numb to it, but Jim the Anvil, man. Anyway, Marlon Moraes, thank you very much for stopping by. Hopefully he gets that title shot, the one that he is looking for. Great stuff from Curtis Blades. Appreciate him stopping by as well. Best of luck to Mickey Gall on August 25th in Lincoln, Nebraska against George Sullivan. Great to hear from him. How about Alex Hernandez? Holy moly. Great stuff. Paige Van Zandt. Appreciate her time as well. Corey Anderson, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Derek Brunson, Kevin Lee, Sean O'Malley. All the back next week, same time and place. Until I say peace. I'm out of here.